And so when we look at how EX leads to better CX, I mean, CX is somewhat of a big picture, almost a core topic. But like we expressed, we focus on technology platforms, process improvement. And even within that, we think of EX within the context of modules like quality management that generate coaching plans and data insights into the conversation. Again, very technology and data. And we also, within that same conversation, talk about elevating the agent to this high value agent position. But there's so much of the nuance there that's lost. For evolving EX, you need better culture. You need to develop those cohesive teams. They need to be able to speak with brand imperial. Like, can you expand on the topic of how you look at employee experience within an organization outside of these technological and process perspectives?
Sure. I think in some ways they're separate and distinct. And to me, they tie in. Of course, they have to tie in, but they tie in once you have the right employees working for you with the right core values, with aligned character and appreciation for what your brand is. And once you've gone through all the steps, which is a whole separate topic of what's needed, with first bringing in the right people in your team and then giving them what they need to make them the best, the most knowledgeable and the best prepared for what it is that they will be doing, how they will be delivering that service to your end customer for whatever they're buying, product or service. It's irrelevant. But the people aspect is always there. I mean, if you have a product, you need people to deliver that product or service for that matter. So when you ask about how does EX lead to better CX, I think, as I said before, they're intrinsically interconnected. And there's absolutely no way you can have outstanding customer experience without happy employees delivering that service or product, because we're all human. Yeah. We all, the reason Susan Pinker discovered that it's the leading indicator of long life is because we viscerally feel each other's emotions, each other's moods and feelings about, in this case, in a work environment, where they're working, how they, as an employee, you can tell right away if someone's disgruntled, if they don't want to be there, if they're just, clocking in and doing their duty, and if they're not fully committed and have ownership to that company about what they're doing, if they're not excited about what they're doing. And so if you've just hired people to do that, your customers are going to feel that. And with every business I know, you can find it elsewhere. There are competitors. So why would we do business in an environment where the employees are not happy to be there, where you feel this cold, like you're almost bothering them sometimes to ask for help, to find help. Oh my gosh, right? Like even to find help sometimes, or wait forever on a phone call and just be transferred. I mean, it's applicable to any industry, honestly. A quick short story. So I was going to the bank, must be right. Pretty dry, a bank experience, right? Not
transactional.
It's transactional. But one of my taglines is that we need to transform transactions into interactions. And believe it or not, I have a bank story where that happened. What ordinarily should have been a transaction became an interaction. And I was going to the bank and it was downtown, so parking was an issue. I called them and said, which way should I enter? This and that. She led me through exactly bit by bit where to go. And she said where to go. And then she said, I'm going to stay on the phone with you until you get here to make sure that you know exactly where you are. Oh, and by the way, when you come in, be sure to take a ticket because I'm going to validate it for you so you don't have to pay for parking. So we did all this, and she was lovely. I get off the elevator, and there she is standing in front of me, greeting me at the elevator. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm at a bank. So it was an investment, it was a financial institution, wasn't kind of your traditional bank, but why not, right? Like, this is my point. And part of what I bring, going off topic a tiny bit, but part of what I bring to the equation with my multi-industrial, multi-country experience, cultural experience, is that it's not normally done here, but why not, right? The normal bank environment, why not? It could be done anywhere. And so not only did she greet me, and then she gave me great service, then she walked me over to where the teller what I needed to do. And he was very friendly. And then she escorted me out and said, here's your ticket. Be sure to use this so you don't pay. I mean, I left there, Frank, when I left, I had this like kind of pep in my step. I had a smile on my face. And as I went back down the elevator, I was so acutely aware of my emotions that I was like, wow, what's going on? Why do I feel so good? And then all of a sudden I thought, it's because I just had this amazing interaction with another human being who was there to help me make my experience better as a customer. It was that simple.
I think if we had their logo right now, we could actually make a commercial for them that would be worth millions and millions. But I like everything that you're saying there. And one of the things that I know for myself personally, one of my superpowers is being able to see a lot of random moving items and make sense out of it and then create frameworks. And when I see other people that build frameworks, I immediately am attracted to them as humans because I see them taking the same approach. So Jill, I know that you are a frameworks person. Like when you go in and work with clients about the people element of the people, process, and technology, you not only have like this incredible intention and awareness, but you also have what I would call a way. How did that come about?
It really came about from, well, first of all, recognizing the problem, particularly attraction and retention of your staff. Granted, I should just also mention that it was heightened because of the pandemic. So this was something that I created before the pandemic. But if you're not including the employee experience in your process, in your operations, you are archaic, you are already irrelevant, you're not current. And so I always start at the beginning of anything related to my process is to reevaluate your core values, your vision, and your mission. And if you have not done this since 2019, if you're still working off these pre-pandemic values and processes, then you're on a short path to extinction, because people care about people, and you're not going to be able to bring in the right employees to be your advocates and your customer magnets if you are not focusing and prioritizing them, because ultimately people are people first and we're customers second. And I think that's really key to remember. So my process it came about really through my entire professional life, starting even when I was a child. Again, my exposure and foundation, I didn't realize until I'm old enough to reflect backwards and recognize the huge, huge value of the foundation that I have from growing up in McDonald's franchise, and with my dad being an incredible mentor, and my mom as well. And so these things just really were glaring. They were just so obvious to me. And that's how I created what I call my E3+1 recipe. And that really is applicable to in any industry. It's truly industry agnostic.